Hello and welcome back to South Coast Busways, where we are looking out over the Havant and Waterlooville sort of urban area. Havant down here, Waterlooville up there. Up there is Horndean, there's Denmead. Down that way is Portsmouth. And, over that way is Fareham, and if you keep going that way, you get to Southampton. And then if you go all the way that way, you get to Bournemouth and the Jurassic City. But we are not looking at any of that today. We are looking here. Because the ongoing mission to make space a standard way needs to be ongoing. So we're going to be establishing a new garage at, where did my OpenStreetMap tab go? There it is. Here. Where's my mouse cursor gone? There it is. Here. If you can even see my mouse cursor, because it's currently loading. But it's in the little grey industrial area type thing. Sort of to the right, like on the other side of the dual carriageway from Waterlooville. That road that goes through it has the best name I think I've ever seen for any road. It's Fitzwigram Way. So that's going to be the FW garage, because of course it is. And that's going to play host to the local services around Havant and Waterlooville, the 110 and probably the 115 as well. But we'll see. If it plays host to the 115, I'll be rejigging the timetable. Maybe. Although the timetable for the 115 is really complex as it is, because half of the runs terminate early at Horndean. So, maybe it will, maybe it won't. But I need to see what's happening with CBM. Has it pegged my eDrive? Yes, it has pegged my eDrive. It's done that. Wonderful. So, I'll be back when we have a new garage to look at on Fitzwigram Way. And we're back with our brand new garage, the 18th garage on this map, FW Fitzwigram Way Havant, with Solent Blue. So it's there. And from this garage we'll be running pretty much all the local services up here, with the exception of the 10, which will continue to be run from Fratton. And we may run the 115 from this garage as well. So seeing as it's end of service on Sunday, let's get all the routes that should be run out of Fitzwigram Way reassigned to Fitzwigram Way, and we can see how many buses we need to move over from Standard Way. So, the lowest numbered route that should be here, I think, is the 110. So I need to go quite far over. Oh no, it's the 101, Havant and the Warrens, which is one of the circulars up here. That area is the Warrens. So that goes from having a dead run all the way from Fareham to having a dead run just up the road. In fact, it looks like the depot is in catchment range of one of the stops. So that's a very short dead run. Because, I mean, even if it has to dead run into town, that's not that bad. And it could just pop onto the dual carriageway and it would take like no time at all. So, you go to Fitzwigram Way. The 103 is basically the same thing. The 105, the High Lawn Circular, that goes over there. The 107 is the other High Lawn Circular, so it goes over there. The 108, Crookhorn to the Weacock Estate, also Fitzwigram. The 109, Havant to Denmead, also Fitzwigram. The 110, Hayling Island to Denmead, also Fitzwigram. The 111, no, but the 113, yes. And the 115. Actually, I'm going to keep the 115 at Standard Way. And then we'll move the 117 over to Fitzwickram as well. And I think that is everything. Yes. So now we go over to the shift scheduler for tomorrow at Fitzwickram. How many assignments do we have? I believe most of the fleet from here is to be 9.7 meter Enviro200 MMCs. But we will see. I think with the 110 we will have some VWs from this garage as well. So let's have a look. Yeah, it's mostly EMs. And the only route from here that needs VWs is the 110. Everything else is EMs. So let's head over to Standard Way. And see what we have. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reset Standard Way. Assign drivers automatically to this garage. And then we'll see what happens with the fleet here. So we are short VWSs, but we do have enough in the way of sort of everything else. So how many of these can we spare? I don't actually know. Yeah, I actually have no idea how many of those we can spare. I suppose the question is less what can we spare and more what do we need at Fitzwickram. So I suppose the good question would be, is the 111 and 115 being allocated as efficiently as it can be? Which I want to say it is. I want to say that it is. Because you can't really do much shuffling here to make it work better. But then that leaves us with no VWs? Interesting. We still have that shortage of VWSs, but that's a little bit easier to cope with. So, right, immediately, I think I can make some efficiencies with the EMs. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to move everything. Okay, first I'm going to put the esteems on these W4s, and then I'm going to go into a jump cut and make the assignment of EMs more efficient, and see how many I can move over. Right, so I was able to spare 16 or 17 Enviro200 MMCs, and I was not able to spare any of the B8RLE Eclipse 3s. So that's going to be the first new buses for this garage sorted. But they're not going to be Eclipse 3s, because it wouldn't make any sense to buy new Eclipse 3s for this garage, seeing as it's all ADL. So there's the first 3 that have arrived. There's a bunch more on the way. So what I'm going to do is probably get some ELs. I'm going to see how busy the 110 is, because if it needs the large capacity of the Eclipse 3, then you know what, I'll have to go with the Eclipse 3. But let's go to the 110 Hayling Island to Denmead. Utilization is okay. They are pretty busy actually. Remember that the Eclipse 3 in this game has a capacity of 95. Ignore these spikes here and here because that is event days. What is it today? An environment or an event in the city. That was an event in the city on a Sunday. So, oh no, that was the event in the city on the Saturday. So yeah, we are looking at 70% of 95, which is like 65 or something, which is about the capacity of an EL. So we don't want ELs. We probably want EXs, but I don't have a livery for those, which means I think we're going to have to go with Eclipse 3s. Fine, I'll go with some Eclipse 3s. I'm going to see how many we need by going into the timetable for the 110, which is all the way over here. Hayling Island to Denmead, it's a big earner. I would put double deckers on it, but I don't have any ADL deckers in the livery of Solent Blue, and I don't know, it just feels wrong to put deckers on this route. So let's show timetable. What are we dealing with? Okay, it's half-hourly service. Hayling Island 5:30. Denmead 6:35, leaves at 6:40, gets back to Hayling Island at 42, where it will do the 8 o'clock. So we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I want to call it 8 buses for the 110. Yeah, let's call it 8 buses for the 110. But before we get those, I want to make sure that we will have enough capacity in the fleet of EMs to run the Havant town services. Because, you know, I would like to have the fleet nicely segmented. So we have our EMs that we got for the Havant town services, then we have our VWs for the 110, and then any extra buses, you know, nicely organised by type. Because I like that. So, I think that's the last. Is that the last one coming? Hey, let me click you. There we go. Yeah, that's the last one. SN67XFM. So, I'm going to go into another jump cut. In fact, I'm going to stop recording for this one. And get the bus, the fleet all sorted, and when I come back, we will have a fleet ready to go for service out of FW on Monday. And I'm back. So, I've made some purchases, and as you can see, we've gone to double deckers for the 110. These are 10.3 metre Enviro400 MMCs. The shorter variant that is most commonly found in London. For those of you who are unaware, London actually has shorter buses generally. The big red bus is definitely a myth. Buses outside London are far bigger than buses in London generally. The one exception would be the Routemaster, which is 11.3 metres long. But drivers in London hate those things because they keep beaching them. Because they're just so long. And they have to be so low because they have that third exit. Anyway, we also have a few extra EMs. So we're up to EM150 now. And in theory, if I can reallocate the 110 to use the short TE type, we should have an allocation ready to go from the new garage. So let's bring up the 110, Hayling Island to Denmead. We should have a fair few more MMCs for the 110 than we actually need, because the Roots PVR is like 5 or 6, and I've bought 12. So hopefully we can run it with 8 or 10 and we'll have a few left over for something. But again, we'll see. Edit timetable, because we want this to be running with the TE type short MMCs. Let's change it over, like, ooh, that's fun. It's got a late run. Short MMCs and TE type short MMCs. Now this last southbound, what does it do? Denmead to Havant. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Confirm. Let's head back to the shift scheduler. We'll run the game as well. And we'll get our TEs assigned to their new route, the 110. We still have that shortage of VWSs at thingy, at SW, but SW now has a bit more space, which is very nice. And yeah, this is now doing much better, and yeah, the 110 allocation is breezy, which is perfect. So we've actually made no new routes today. I doubt this video is going to be very long, but it might. No, it's definitely not, actually. It definitely isn't going to be long, which maybe I want to not be the case. Right. Because I'm thinking Havant's got a decent little network in the bit of the town that we have, but also I'm looking down at Hayling Island, and it's like we don't have all of it yet, but we have this corner of West Town that we're not serving, we have the actual town centre in Mengham that we haven't reached, but then we also have the entire northern side of Waterlooville that we're not serving yet. And I'm curious to serve this part of Waterlooville, because this looks new and it looks fun. But I'm unsure. But we have another break on progress in that we have no money. So that's going to have to be put on hold, unless this is a cunning wheeze, we do a direct Havant bus station to Mengham Town Centre service. I don't know where that could turn around. Yeah, I don't know where that could turn around. I mean, what's this? Okay, so that's like a... I assume that's some kind of turn back. Yeah, seafront. So it would come down through Mengham and then terminate on the seafront like that. You know, I like that idea. That is going to be... what route numbers do we have like that? The 110... So I want that. That could be the 120. Ooh, I like that. I like that a lot. The 120, Havant to Mengham. And that could run... That could run Mondays to Saturdays only, maybe. Every half hour. So let's copy that. That being the hex code for our Solent Blue mainline routes. And let's start on the 120. From Havant down to Hayling Island seafront. And there is the 120 from Havant to Hayling Island seafront. So, it takes 55 minutes to do a return, so we'll probably be running it half-hourly during the week, and every 45 minutes or hourly depending on how the timetabling works on Sunday. And the timetable for the 120 is now done. So, it is 2 timetables layered on top of each other. There is 2 hourly timetables. One runs all through the day, and then there's another one on top of it, sort of nestled exactly between it. You can see there's a first one there at 6:42 from Havant Station, to bolster the frequency up to every half hour. So if we have a look, the first half hourly bus is actually the 6:07 from Hayling Island. So that gets into Havant Station at 6:39, where it does the 6:42. You know, let's count from the top, it's easier to count along like this. 6:12 gets down to Hayling Island to 6:44, where it takes the 7:07, and gets into Havant Station at 7:39 to take the 7:42. So it needs 4 buses. Perfect. And then on Sundays it just runs every hour, so it'll need 2 buses, assumedly. Is that even a word? Assumedly, is that a word? I feel like it's a word. We'll confirm that and run it from the new garage. What is it? Fitzwigram? It's the best road name ever. Why have I forgotten it? Yeah, it's Fitzwigram. And we'll activate that route now. Our new service to Hayling Island. And there should be, we should have enough buses. We definitely have enough drivers, because I hired 100 drivers, and we have enough buses. That's beautiful. Very nice. There's even some buses still only doing 1 shift each. That's perfect. So I'm going to set the game to maximum speed, and we will join a 120 as it heads out to do, you know, the 120 things, the first 120s. I can't speak. And it's now time to join the 120 on its first run from Havant Station down to Mengham on Hayling Island. Well, the destination will read Hayling Island Seafront. Hopefully. If I've set the destinations up right, it should read Hayling Island Seafront. So coming down through the bottom of Havant and into Langston, we're following the 110 almost all the way down. There's a holiday park, and that's where we diverge from the route of the 110 to do our own thing as the 120. Which is coming up now, actually. It's just after Fleet, I think. Bus stop named after a pub, because there's nothing else in the local area. Love it. Yep, there we go. 120 goes off down the left-hand side of the screen there. 120? No, 110 goes down the left-hand side there. And we, as the 120, carry on straight into Mengham. And then on to Hayling Island Seafront, obviously. So when we get to Hayling Island, or when we get to the seafront, we're going to take the 6:07 departure, which is the first one of the extras that I put in. So it does from Hayling Island a rounder of core and then a rounder of extra. On Sunday, the timetable is set up a little bit differently, so that it doesn't need to do that. But we're going off at 6:07, so I'll fast forward until it's time to leave. It's now 6. And 6:03 game? No, still 6:02. Ah, now it's 6:03. 604, 605. There we go. Oh, lovely. They go past right about the same time. So they will definitely be getting into Havant at different times because they take very different routes. Well, certainly you'd hope that they take very different amounts of time to get to Havant. I think this route also has... I don't know. I mean, clearly that 110 has left us in its dust, which is good. Because we don't want two buses from Hayling Island at the same time arriving at Havant, and now the scrolling is broken. There we go. But yeah, now we have double-deckers on Hayling Island. And my phone is going crazy because the group chat is popping off. So... Ooh, we're a minute late. Ooh, we're 2 minutes late. Ooh, no. Ooh, that's not good. Oh, it's fine. We're good now. And then into Langston. A minute late again. Not good. We want our buses to be running on time. And this is not on time. Here we are. Leaving 1 minute late from the bus station. But we're on time again at Market Parade. The game's having a moment. Hang on. But then we just pull into Havant Station and be done with it. When the game's finished having a moment, let's go have a look at the 110. I'll go up to Denmead for that. But yeah, I'll let the game have its moment. And then we'll go up to Denmead to have a look at the 110. Ah, the game's had its... I didn't even need to cut. The game knows what I'm thinking. So, let's head up to Denmead. There is a 110. And it looks like it's just left Denmead, Denmead Village Centre, whatever. And it's busy. It's busy. There is an event on in the city today. Well, you know, there's one of those city events on. So, bus is busy. Yeah, bogus binted. But, you know, double-deckers, they have near enough the same capacity as the much inflated capacity that the Eclipse 3s have. So, it shouldn't be too bad. And... well, we're in the red, but again, it's city event. It's fine. So, coming into the top of Havant now, or the side of Havant really. Oh dear. That routing problem. How long's that been there? Since I put it in, probably. And, yeah. It's pretty full. All the way into Havant, which is very nice. We like a full bus. A full bus is a profitable bus. Into Havant bus station where we sit for 2 minutes. Ooh. Maybe we were early? I don't know. So, coming out of Havant, numbers should start to drop off if this is being anything like realistic. And there's a 120. Hopefully we can shake that off a bit. Hopefully? Hopefully. It's two buses that left Havant at roughly the same time for Hayling Island. That's not good. Yeah, no, it's catching up. It's one stop behind. Although I'm less bothered about this direction because they do serve different places on Hayling Island. The 120 goes straight down through Mengham and then terminates at the beachfront. And then the 110 goes down through West Mengham to terminate at the ferry terminal. So, yeah, we're going different ways now. It's fine. It's all good. The 120 is still the fastest way from Havant to that specific location, which, funny. But, you know, you're not getting to, oh, What? Okay. I've completely lost my train of thought there. That was crazy. So, that, I think, was a success. The game is a laggy mess. Because we have so many buses in this save now, and the map is huge. But we are done for this week. We have a new garage, we have a new route from Havant down to Hayling Island, and we have a whole new fleet of buses, double-deckers, down to Hayling Island. So, I will see you next week from the South Coast. Bye-bye.